that has existed in its current form for over 3 billion years. There is exquisite power in their permanence. I crossed the bighorns in awe, in reverie, and camped at their base for a night. As I rode east the next day toward South Dakota, a violent debate raged inside me. I longed to stay in Wyoming and was tormented at the thought of leaving it behind. I considered ending the trip then and there, going so far as to stop at the Sheridan Library to read the local classifieds. But I continued on. I assumed I would click back into New York City, my city, the moment I arrived. I didn't, and I knew within days that I wouldn't. The country had put its spell on me. One lazy late fall morning, a week into my confused and disillusioned reunion with New York, I took a friend's laptop to a nearby coffee shop, needing to dream. I searched the internet for Wyoming rentals. The bighorns held my heart, and I typed in the names of the tiny towns that lay scattered around them. I found one house listed, a furnished 4-bedroom on 17 acres in Tensleep, a town that lay just south of my route across Wyoming. Though I'd not been through that particular town, I contacted the owner and met with her daughter, who happened to be living in New York, and a week later I mailed a deposit for the rental sight unseen. I bought a one-way ticket to California, bought a Ford with more primer than paint from 2 gangstas in San Jose, filled it with all of my belongings that fit, and gave the rest away, and in the blustery, pale days of early November, started driving toward my new, unknown home. If someone had told me, even 3 months prior, that I would move willingly to a town of 300 people, I would have told them they needed some Windex for their crystal ball. It was a drastic move, one not based in logic, security, experience, or anything other than unignorable desire, dictated solely by my passion for Wyoming's land. I fall in love with places the way I fall in love with men. Actually, that's not the precise truth. I fall deeper, more ardently in love with places than I have with any man, and will give myself over to a place in a way I have never given myself to a person. I've never felt roots, have never felt conventionally attached to family or religion or any societal group. In one of his novels, Salman Rushdie wrote a great passage about those born not belonging, and I've had it framed on my desk for years. Not only is it exquisitely written, it is the only thing I've ever totally identified with. I've identified with a piece of paper more than any person or place. I raise an eyebrow just writing that. It's so stark and sad, and a little romantic. But more than all that, it's true. I have spent my life running by myself, for myself, and this is the way I got myself to Wyoming. My family and friends responded to my move in every way possible, from a shaking of the head and writing it off as frivolous irresponsibility, to support and a keen jealousy. Yet most of the people who knew me well chalked it up to, what else would we expect from Shreve? In high school, I was voted most likely to wake up in a strange place, and not entirely because I was a straight-A delinquent, often under some influence. I have always roamed, always seized every opportunity to take off and explore, whether it was wandering the woods in the dark as a child, traveling down the coast of California on the green tortoise bus when I was 15, or jumping in my car and driving, somewhere, anywhere, until I had to be back to school or work on Monday morning. My travels were never attempts to escape. The goal was to explore, to go, because I could. Great unknowns were out there to be seen, felt, experienced. This was what life meant to me. This was what life was for. And nothing meant more to me than my freedom. I moved to a speck of a town in an area where I had only spent one day because I knew it was the only way I would be happy. Logistics did not enter into the equation. I didn't know how I'd make a living, but I knew I would, somehow. because I had to.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.